Hey, in today's video, I'm going to talk about that dreaded flop. And I'm not talking about the one that happens at an embarrassing rate out on the pitch. No, I'm talking about the Marlin trigger flop. Stick around, I might have a solution for you. Hi, George here, and welcome to Tales from Target Suite, where I'll share my perspective on guns and shooting, and we'll have an adventure or two that will make even a grown man smile. And yes, it's been a while. I'll talk about that towards the end of the video. I hope you'll stick around. But I've got three great guns down here. I've got the Marlin 336. This is the Ruger-made Marlin 336. I've got a Marlin 1895 guide gun, 4570. That's also Ruger-made. And I have a JM Model 336 from 1959. And all three of them have something in common, and it is a floppy trigger. Actually, only two of them have something in common, because this Marlin Model 336, Ruger-made Marlin 336, no longer has a floppy trigger. But the floppy trigger that gets railed on about so often on social media has been around for 70 years, 70 plus years. I believe it was introduced sometime around 1952, because I had a Marlin 336 from 1950. It did not have the floppy trigger. And I have this one from 1959 that does have the floppy trigger. So it's not like it's a new thing. Marlin has made a huge name for itself, all the while having a floppy trigger. But now let's talk about this one in just a second. I can tell it's been a while. I almost pulled that trigger. Well, I almost ran the table, but I missed that last one. But what great guns. My, oh my, you know, my channel's really been built around lever guns, a lot of Marlin content you've seen, and the floppy trigger has never been an issue for me. There have been solutions for the floppy trigger all along. Ranger Point Precision, my neighbors back in Houston, they have a trigger that solves that problem. And now one of the oldest brands in America as far as triggers is Timney, and they have come up with a lever action replacement lever action trigger. It does not enhance the functionality of the gun. You can't shoot faster, you can't shoot better per se. It just doesn't have the flop. And so I put that in this 336, and it's surprising. Number one, as you could tell from the packaging, it's advertised to have a 3 to 3.5 pound trigger pull, but this one here wound up with about a 2.5 pound trigger pull. So that's pretty slick and easy to get in. Very easy to get in. You know what's really great, talking to you guys and girls again. It has been a while. And I will talk more about it here in just a few minutes, but basically I've spent a lot more time back in Houston and a little bit less time thinking about YouTube. And I should have made a video just letting you guys know that everything was fine as far as I'm concerned. Please forgive me for that. But anyway, let's shoot this 336, Ruger-made 336 Marlin in 30-30 Winchester again. Oh yeah, that's the one I missed first time around. And that one's out there at about 75 yards. Oh, and then I missed one at 20. Oh my goodness. All right. Oh, we have one more. All right, I redeemed myself. What great guns. I'll tell you what, these Ruger-made Marlin lever guns are fantastic. So let's talk about the trigger from Timney, and you know, that guy was going to ramble on and on. So let's just take a look at the two trigger assemblies. Here is the Marlin trigger assembly. The black piece is the sear, and the gold piece, of course, is the trigger. And the sear is loosely connected to the trigger via the trigger pin.
and there's no spring, there's no other connection. It's just it just flops when it comes to its relationship with the trigger, and that is what causes the Marlin flop. Now, let's take a close look at the new trigger assembly from Timney. Now you can see here that they are permanently connected. The silver piece is the sear, and the dark piece, of course, is the trigger. And you can see the tiny little springs that force the sear to always be engaged with the notch in, and here it is, the included new hammer assembly from Timney. It includes a spring and new hammer, and the combination of the two gives us a lighter trigger pull and the crispier trigger break.
Now, this one, the Marlin 336, you can move forward and back, but it is under spring tension, and so it will not flop, and so that's the difference. Kudos to a company like Timney for jumping in the fray and making a really neat replacement. Again, it does not enhance functionality. You can't shoot faster or better. It's just eliminates the irritating flop if it irritates you. Doesn't irritate me because I've known about that flop for a long, long time. It's kind of rolled into the data. You just don't even notice it because, like I said, it doesn't matter unless it matters to you personally. I think I'm going to load up a couple of more shots and we'll bust some of those targets. But let's bust those reactive targets right there. Oh yes, there's a big green jug out there. Of course, I'd have to miss on the last one. But hey, again, I'm going to share a little something, but for those of you who are going to drop off, I just want to say thank you for joining. It's been a long, long time since I have made, I think I've only made, this will be the 4th video for the entire year of 2024, and here we are in mid-September. But I think I started to say it earlier, maybe I did, but there's just been kind of a realignment from a family perspective, and I felt like I needed to spend more mental energy and more time back in Houston and a little bit less time here. And it's really affected my creative juices, and that's, at the end of the day, that's why I haven't been making content. But we're here today. I've got my sweetheart up at the house, and we have come for probably the last trip for the next several months for her, because we are starting on a journey that's going to interfere with that. You can see from the picture, if you read between the lines, you can figure out what's happening in our household. But we'll be busy and distracted for quite some time now. And so if I have a chance to finish and upload a couple of the videos I already had in process, then you'll see some content coming up. Otherwise, it may be a little bit of time when I start producing videos again. So with that said, I want to say thank you so much for the journey it's been. This sounds like a goodbye, but it's not. But what a journey it has been. I've met a lot of great friends through YouTube, great guys that have sent me ammo and things like that. A lot of blessings, relationships and things like that, and I have really missed it. And like my wife said, you should have made a video just letting folks know what's going on. Let them know you're okay. And as far as I know, I'm okay. We just have another path that we're going to go down here with Janet. So with that said, I want to say thank you for watching. Check out that Timney trigger if you want. It's fantastic. With that said, I'll see you in the next video.